Hey, you guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. Today, we're going to talk all about meal subscriptions. Yep. Are they worth it? Does it make sense to have one? Are they a waste of money? Are they budget friendly? All the questions we're going to answer on today's episode. But first and foremost, those of you that are not familiar with meal subscriptions or, meal kit delivery services, here is how they work. So you sign up for a plan with a certain number of meals per week. You can choose which meals you want to make, and then they deliver all the pre-portioned ingredients that you're going to need, along with the recipe, to your door in a box. And that's it. Sounds great. It's awesome. They can be a little pricey, so we're going to break down some of the most popular meal subscriptions. First up is HelloFresh. So the minimum number of meals that you can get is 2 meals for 2 people per week, which is going to be $11.99. Or you can order up to 6 meals for 4 people per week. That ends up being $7.99 per serving. And they have 6 different food preferences that you can choose from, like different settings, whether it's like gluten-free or vegan or all of it. So it's great. That's awesome. Next is Blue Apron. So this is a minimum number of meals you can get is 2 meals for 2 people per week, which is $9.99 per serving. And for the signature plan, you can order up to 4 meals for 4 people, which ends up being $7.49 per serving. And they have 3 different food preference settings that you can choose from. There's also Home Chef. And this one, you can't really see all the different plan options on their website unless you sign in and have the subscription. But from the research I did, generally speaking, it's about $8.99 per serving that can be ordered in 2, 4, or 6 serving plans. So the minimum weekly order value is $49.95, which means you have to spend at least that much each week. And they have a new menu, though, of different recipes every week for all different dietary preferences. There's also Every Plate, and this is a minimum number of meals you can get is 3 meals for 2 people a week, which is $5.89 per serving. You can order up to 5 meals for 4 people at $4.99 per serving. And they have 4 different food preference settings that you can choose from. And there are fewer recipes on this one, but it's also less expensive. So that's the good thing. Okay, let's figure out if a meal subscription is worth it for you. Here are some pros to think about. You save a lot of time and a lot of planning, which is great when you're really busy. Like, it just shows up there at your front porch and you're like, oh, it's all pre-portioned out and it's great. Also, if you're in a week that you're like, man, we're out to eat every week or we have stuff going on, you can actually pause your plan if you don't want to receive something in a given week. They also help you with portion control, not wasting food. So the Cruzes, we are the worst at this. It's like you buy some food and then it goes bad because you don't eat it and you're like, dang it. So again, this is all pre-portioned out. So you're using everything that you're buying. And if you tend to go out to eat a lot, then it can help you cut back again on just whether it's the ingredients or portion control, all of it. Here are some cons to think about. Some of these meal plans, cost per meal is the same as going out to eat and you're doing the cooking. So you're basically paying to go out to eat, but you're the one that got to do the dishes and everything after. And you're like, dang it. Also a con is that you're not going to get leftovers if everything is portioned out. So that's one benefit of cooking at home is that you're like, oh, I can use this for lunch tomorrow, or we can continue to use this for dinner tomorrow. Not the case with these meal plans because, again, they're so portioned out. And these plans don't eliminate your need to grocery shop, okay? So you're going to have to do the rest of your meals and snacks and everything that don't come in the meal subscription. Also a con, you have to pay for delivery. So it's all the pricing we talked about plus some delivery fees on top of that. Now, here's some tips for you to think about. Okay, should I try a meal subscription? Well, you can look for the meals that will freeze well and do a large number of those meals because you're going to get the lowest possible price per serving and you can save them for later. Also, you can save your recipe cards for the future. So if you want to do your own cooking, you at least have some new recipes. Also, you can look for deals. So a lot of these companies do tons of promos that you can look for. I mean, this is on the internet or on their website or social media and all of that, which is great. So you may even get some of the higher quality ingredients for less than the grocery store pricing with some of those promos. There's also a lot of factors that go in determining if a meal subscription is right for you. So you have to think about how many people do you have to feed, how the ingredient prices compare to your local grocery store, how many leftovers are you gonna get out of just one meal. And if you have a big family, then a meal subscription probably is gonna be more expensive for you because you're having to order more and more and more food. But if you're single or it's just you and your spouse and you wanna have a meal subscription kind of as a luxury and it's in your budget, that probably would make more sense. Now, I do have friends and they just make their kids their own food on the side and they do a meal subscription box for the two of them. So maybe that's something to think about. But again, when you're in baby steps 1 or 2, so you're starting your emergency fund or you're getting out of debt, this kind of stuff is considered a luxury. Like, cut it out. The cheapest thing probably is going to be just buying food at the grocery store, cheap food, and making it at home, okay? So this is where you're like buckling down and you're not spending on extra. But if you're on other baby steps and this works in your budget and you're like, yeah, this works for our family, then you can do it. There's not a one-size-fits-all answer here, but I would say compare prices. So do some shopping, compare again the prices of the meal subscription, all of it to stay on top of your budget and figure out what is right for you. So we keep talking about budgeting, and the food budget category always seems to be a budget buster. But having an app like EveryDollar to help you budget is gonna make things very simple and very easy because it does the math all for you. So by making and sticking to your monthly budget, it's one of the best things you can do, like I always say, to take control of your money and create a life you love.